Hello and welcome to Total Health for Dr. Nick, where my purpose is to inspire, empower, and motivate you to live longer, healthier, and more abundant lives. And today's video is really more about inspiration because I'll tell you what, your success or your failure is extremely important. So this video, I'm going to talk about the most important thing that will guarantee whether you're successful or you will fail in a lot of things that you do. Now, a lot of you are going to start getting in shape. You've got goals, you've got aspirations, you want to lose weight, you want to start an exercise program, maybe your career you want it to take off, your family life, whatever it may be, whatever part of your life. This is probably the single most important thing that will come down to your success or your failure in that. So I've got a riddle for you, all right? So the riddle is, who am I? So I'm going to read you this short little poem, and you see if you can guess who I am. I am your constant companion. I am your greatest helper or your heaviest burden. I will push you onward or drag you down to failure. I am completely at your command. Half of the things you do, you might as well turn over to me and I will do them quickly and correctly. I am easily managed. You must be firm with me. Show me exactly how you want something done, and after a few lessons, I will do it automatically. I'm the servant of all great people and, alas, of all failures as well. Those who are great, I have made great. Those who are failures, I've made failures. I'm not a machine, though. I work with the precision of a machine plus the intelligence of a person. You may run me for profit or run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Take me, train me, be firm, and I will place the world at your feet. Be easy with me, and I will destroy you. Who am I? So who am I, guys? Well, I'm your habits. Okay, your habits, the things you do on a daily basis, the way you live your life, is probably the single greatest factor when it comes to your success or your failure. You see, habits create action, and action creates momentum. Now, momentum could go one of two ways, right? You could have momentum going in the right direction, or you could have momentum going in the wrong direction. The choice is yours, but you need to take action. Your habits, like I said, dictate everything. So you want to make sure that your habits are all correct, because your habits will dictate action. Action dictates momentum. You need to get moving. A lot of you are stuck in ruts. A lot of you want to start that exercise program. You want to start maybe getting in shape, eating right. You want to start maybe having a better family life or career, but you don't know what to do because your habits are all wrong. The things you're doing on a daily basis are all wrong. What did Einstein say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You have to change your habits. So let's look at your habits. Well, let's start with the beginning. How do you start your day? Right? Do you start your day like this, where you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have to get up now. This is horrible. I got to wake up. I want to just smash that alarm clock. Or maybe you're just the type that's constantly hitting that snooze alarm. Okay, if that's you, go ahead and comment right down below. I could tell you that was me many times. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to get moving. I didn't want to start taking on the day, because a lot of times you don't have a big enough why or big enough purpose. And that's really what it comes down to. So you start hitting that snooze. Well, let me tell you, that's one of the worst things you can do, because you keep putting it off. Your sleep cycle is about an hour and a half. So when you go back to sleep, you get back into a sleep cycle only to be woken up within 10, 15, or 30 minutes later. So you wake up more tired. So I'm telling you, as soon as your alarm goes off, stop it, put your feet on the floor, get out of bed, go take a shower, go shave, whatever you do, but get moving. Stop with this habit right here. That's a bad habit, and I had to break it myself. Like I said, I kept hitting snooze over and over again. I finally had to say, you know what? I'm getting up right now, all right? Next. What are your morning rituals? Morning rituals are key. If you don't have good morning rituals, your day is shot. How many times do you start waking up and next thing you know, you're starting to put out whatever fires are coming along? No, you've got to take on the day, and you've got to be intentional about the day. You've got to know what you're going to be doing. You got to know what your plans are for the day. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to stop doing maybe? What do you want to, finish over the course of the day, all right? You want to plan your day. How many times have you heard, if you fail to plan, then plan to fail? All right? If you fail to plan what's going on, then you're planning to fail. That's the truth in so many different ways. So when you wake up, do you pray? One thing you could do is pray, show gratitude. When you have gratitude early in the day, next thing you know, you don't have so many negative thoughts come into your head. You don't have so much disparaging thoughts because you start the day in gratitude, grateful already. It's very hard to be grateful and sad at the same time. You know, I tell people all the time, be glad you can walk, be glad you're seeing, be glad you have eyesight, right? Be glad your children are healthy and well, because there's so many people, one, who don't have children, or their children are battling cancer, or maybe you're battling cancer. So be glad. Look for something to be glad about. So when you pray and when you meditate, meditation connects you closer to your source. Now, whether that may be God or whatever you believe it to be, it gets you close to your source, because when you're separated from your source, that's when you're like an island. You're out there all by yourself. Get connected to your source. So by meditating, that's when you quiet your mind down and you connect to source. Reading, you want to read motivational things. How many times do you guys get up and you start reading junk? You don't want to read that. You want to read motivational things that get your day going, that inspire you, whether it be in your profession, something you read that might be inspiring about your profession, maybe a trade magazine or something you can learn more about what you need to do, or maybe just something inspirational, like an inspirational book that motivates and inspires you to great things and great thoughts. You want to start off with those things. The last thing you want to do is open up emails. How many of you laying in bed, you'll start to scroll through your emails on your phone? That's the worst thing, because next thing you know, your emails are taking control of your day, because all of a sudden you go, oh shoot, I got to get in touch with this guy, or I got to email this person back, or this lady wants something immediately. I've got to get moving on that. Now, your day's not intentional. You're putting out fires. You're going right into fear mode, to where you're trying to take care of everything on someone else's to-do list but yours. So if you want to get in shape, you want to be healthy and well, you want to exercise, career, and so on, you take control of your day. Don't let someone else dictate that. Don't let someone else's emergency become yours. Oh, I need this information right now. Oh, let me get that to you right away. No, you take control of your day. It's your life. You take control. So don't check your emails and don't check your texts. Every time your phone jingles, you look at, oh, who's contacting you? Let me check. Don't do that. Don't do that. Otherwise, it's almost like a hit of dopamine. It's just like when someone goes to a roulette wheel or a craps table, or they're playing slots or whatever it is, they get that hit of dopamine, because when they're about to pull that lever, they're going to get that hit. That's what happens when somebody, all of a sudden, you get that jingle on your phone. It's a hit of dopamine. I got to find out who wants me, who wants to talk to me. It's almost like when you open up social media and you're like, who liked my stuff? Who commented on it? I want to know. And next thing you know, you're getting all these little hits of dopamine. So don't get caught up in that. Watching TV. Now, I don't care how you go, whether you be one side politics or the other side politics, whatever it may be. You start watching TV or news first thing in the morning, next thing you know, you're in that news cycle. You're in the cycle of whoever's doing what wrong to who. So don't get caught up in the news. Don't get caught up in watching TV. Don't get caught up in the Desperate Housewives or whatever, because next thing you know, your day is going to be dictated by that. So instead of starting the day powerful and strong and inspired and motivated, your first 30 minutes are the most important 30 minutes of the day, and your last 30 minutes are the most important, because now you're going to go to sleep and you want to set your pattern for the next day. So don't start watching TV right away. Next thing you know, you're caught up in all the drama of the world. Oh my gosh, there was an explosion. But the problem is, it brings it right to you. Next thing you know, the world's, tragedies are right in your face. Get started with your day before you start worrying about what's going on in the world and throwing on the news or Desperate Housewives or whatever it may be. Now, what's your diet like? Because your diet's important. If your diet's not right, your whole day's not going to be right, because you're not starting off with good fuel in your body. So maybe you've been wanting to start a diet. So what's your habit about that? You've been wanting to start a good diet plan, a keto diet or paleo diet, whatever it may be. And by the way, if you're looking for the best way to start the keto diet, if not just using all the information on my channel, but you want to actually be directed and guided, check out my keto course. I'll put a link down below. It's called Ultimate Keto, and it's Ultimate Keto for a reason, because we've got the most comprehensive information on keto available: diets, recipes, shopping guides, inspiration, motivation. It's all in there. It's a complete guide, walks you through step by step. But if not, Start looking at your diet. Start looking at what you're eating. Are you fueling your body with things? What's your habit about that? Are you fueling your body with junk? Are you just trying to stimulate your body with some coffee and some muffin? Next thing you're crashing around 10 o'clock and you're having another coffee and another muffin or a Snicker bar, or you're going out to the vending machine looking for some kind of junk. Don't get caught up into that. Meal plan. Figure out what you're going to maybe eat for the week and plan your meals out. So your diet, your eating is going to dictate the kind of fuel you're putting in your body. I always say our bodies are more expensive than any Ferrari, but you would never put junk fuel in a Ferrari. You'd never put junk fuel in a Lamborghini, but yet you do it to your own body. Your body's worth $1 trillion if you take all the raw materials out, and yet you're putting junk in it and expecting it to run normally and function at peak performance levels. You can't do that. Next is exercise. Are you breaking your exercise habits? You said you wanted to start exercising. Are you doing that? Your weights here are waiting for you, okay? They're waiting for you. Are you exercising or not? Get into an exercise routine. Just start. Like I said before, you need to start getting that action moving, because that action builds that momentum. Get moving. Just get started. So as we're rolling into maybe the new year or whatever it is, whenever you're watching this video, you want to start to just take action on the program, whether it be just to work out 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. Start there and start building up that momentum. Next thing you know, it goes into a half an hour a day or 40 minutes a day, but just start getting moving wherever you are. If you're saying, you know what, Dr. Nick, I can't even get out of a chair right now. Well, then you work out in your chair. Sit there with some dumbbells and do some curls or some presses in your chair. Do whatever you can at the level you're at. Nobody says you have to be at someone else's level. This is your race. This is about you. You run the race that God chose for your life, okay? Now the next is procrastination. I'm telling you, if they gave out gold medals in this, I would win it. I was the worst procrastinator. I didn't take action on things. I used to just sit there and I had paralysis analysis, where I used to think about it and think about it and think about it. What's that saying? I think there was even a book written about it. Eat that frog. Why? Because the frog is the thing that you don't want to do. The frog is the thing that that big job you got to take on. Well, when you take on the big job first, it's kind of like setting up those dominoes. The big domino knocks over the little one, and all the way down the line. Start working on that big frog first. Eat the big frog. Start with the big domino first. Take on the big task of the day, and then just let the other ones start to fall by the wayside too. But do the biggest one first. But don't put it off till tomorrow, okay? Start doing it today. Why? Because you want to make sure you get these things done. Otherwise, they build up on your mind. I could tell you I am the worst at that. I would get things building up on my mind, and next thing you know, I was feeling like I was underwater. You know, like you're just drowning in stuff because you just keep putting things off and putting things off. And how this works is this. Your body works out of two ways, pain or pleasure, all right? Pain or pleasure, that's it. Well, right now, the pain of starting is greater than the pleasure of actually starting it and feeling good about it. So you have this just pain. I don't want to start. I don't want to start. I don't want to start. That term paper, that report, that whatever. Next thing you know, now the deadline's coming. Now that pain gets bigger. Okay, so all of a sudden, that pain becomes the motivator. That's the carrot and the stick. Now that's in your face, and it's like, I better get this done or I'm going to get fired. I better get this done or I'm going to not pass this test. So that's how that works. Pain and pleasure. All of a sudden now that pain is much, much closer, and you can't put it off till tomorrow anymore. Now you do it today. So that term paper you've been waiting for a whole month to do, you do it in 3 hours. So anyway, are you pessimistic? Are you half full or half empty? This is another bad habit to be in, because I'll tell you what, there is so many great things to look at the world about. Yeah, I know you can look around and say, yeah, but this is going on or this tragedy happened here, but there's always something good to look at. There's always something good to learn from it. I've had a lot of bad experiences happen in my life where I could look at it and say, why me, why me, why me? But the reality is there's always something to be learned in it. And if you look at it that way, if you look at it like the glass is half full rather than half empty, remember, you're going to be attracting into your life what you tend to focus on. So if you're always focusing on when's the next shoe going to drop, or when's this going to go bad, or this can't possibly last, or nothing good lasts, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get all this junk happening in your life. But if you focus on What else good is going to happen? What else is going to happen? This is great. I'm learning something from this. You look at some of the greatest, most successful people in life who had bankruptcies or deaths in their family or whatever it may be. They had some of their greatest triumphs as a result. I always like to say, you want to get to the top of that mountain. First, you have to go through a valley. There's a valley there going on the way to the top of that mountain, and you can't get around that. So sometimes you're at your lowest point to get to your highest point. And always then look at the highest point and look out and say, wow, look what I just did. Okay, so you're not going to get that way if you look at everything as half empty. Okay, you've got to look at things as half full. That's the best way to look at it. Now, probably one of the biggest problems I see is this: broken promises to yourself. All right, that is one of the worst things. Broken promises to yourself leads to regret. That's what it's going to lead to. You broke the promise to yourself. This is the hardest thing. You broke the promise that you were going to start eating right. You broke the promise that you were going to start spending more time with your spouse. You broke the promise that you were going to start an exercise program. You broke the promise that you were going to change careers or start a new job or whatever it may be. When you break promises to yourself, that's when your self-esteem goes down. And when your self-esteem goes down and your habits are bad, you are in a bad downward spiral. You are in a bad downhill spiral. You've got to get out of that by keeping the promises to yourself. If you say that you're going to wake up when that alarm goes off at 5 a.m., get up. Get your feet on the ground. You do not want to begin the day with failure, okay? Don't begin the day with failure. Get up, start moving. If you say, you know what, I'm going to get to the gym by 5:30, get to the gym by 5:30, and guess what happens? You get to the gym, you might hate being there for the first 10 minutes, and then you start liking it, and then you go, wow, I feel so good today. I feel so much more productive today. That's what it's about. Keep your promises to yourself. If you say, you know what, I'm going to go out to dinner tonight with the friends, but I'm not going to eat the dessert. I'm not going to eat the pie or the potatoes or whatever it may be. I'm going to go keto. I'm going to have just some healthy fat, some healthy grass-fed meat, maybe some healthy vegetables. That's all I'm going to have. I'm not going to give in to the temptation. And you don't, and you go home, you feel great. Or you say, you know what, I'm not going to have the mixed drinks because I want to get home thinking clear. Those mixed drinks are just going to put me way out of ketosis. And you don't have the mixed drink and you get home and you feel great. That's a victory. Keep the promises to yourself. This right here will be the thing that literally breaks your heart the most, is when you don't keep the promises to yourself. Right? So that's it, guys. I hope you got a lot out of this, because I'll tell you what, if you do this, if you get a handle on your habits will either make or break you. Your habits will either be your success or your failure. You get to control it, okay? So you keep those promises to yourself and you get to live a blessed life. Those good habits that you keep lead to a joyous life. You know, my wife used to say to me, why do you do things that way? Why are you so rigid in your schedule? Why do you have things where it's all scheduled out? Well, because what that does is creates freedom, because when you're getting things done, it creates that freedom. So when you create good habits and you have good habits in your life, you're not a prisoner of those habits. It creates the freedom in your life to be able to do other things. It frees you up to live a joyous life. And that's really where all the juice is. That's what you want. You want to be able to live the life that God created for you to have. And that's really what it's all about. So I hope you take all this information and use it to your best advantage and get the most out of life. I love and appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit that little bell notification. But more importantly, before you go, you watch these other videos, because if you like this one, you're going to love my other videos too. So anyway, it's Dr. Nick. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye. And I'll see you in the next video.